I am Jen Stobart from the Lindon 19th ward. Almost 30 years ago, my family was sealed together forever. My husband Jeff and I and our cute little girl Christina was just a couple months old. My husband is a convert, and just a little over a year after we were married, we were able to be sealed in the temple. And I wasn't sure if the temple would be part of my story for a long time in my life. Well, I was a wild child and a wild teenager. Well, I kind of had these two different things going on, right? The one that was wanting to have the temple and an eternal marriage and an eternal family. And then this other part that was just not really aligned, I guess, with that as far as what I was doing, my friends, my behaviors. I didn't grow up in a place where there were lots of choices of members. I was one with my brother, two of 200 or 2,000 plus students in my high school who were members of the church. And that felt really hard at the time. And so when I met my husband, I was not super active. Yes, I went to church every Sunday, but outside of that, not living maybe an active lifestyle necessarily. When I met him and it started to turn into, we think maybe we'll get married, all of a sudden this big part of the temple is so important to me. I want to get sealed in the temple. And he didn't even know what that meant, but he loved me. So he's like, well, tell me about this. What does that mean? What is sealed in the temple? What is the temple? And so those conversations started, and we had the missionaries come over, and with the missionaries and the discussions and me feeling like this just feels really important to me. I want to start our family at the temple and living a certain lifestyle, really living the gospel, not just going to church on Sunday, but having it be who we are. And so, of course, there were many conversations that came with that, and new habits that we decided to develop. We started reading our scriptures together routinely, started having family home evening, just us and our little baby that was, growing inside. We started not just going to church, but being really reflective of our experience there prior to partaking of the sacrament. We started taking temple prep classes, just doing all of these things that helped us feel ready and prepared to enter his house. To actually be there was really special. And one of the most special parts of this day was when Christina came into the sealing room, and she was quiet and calm, which was not always her demeanor at that age. And she was in her little white dress, and she came and put her little teeny tiny hand on ours, and we were sealed together forever. And just in that moment, my testimony just grew by a million. And I was so grateful for the covenants that we as a family were making, and for the roots that it planted for our family for these next 28, 30 years of time that we've had together. And since then, I've been to the temple many, many, many times. I love being in the temple. As a trauma therapist, I sit with people in their very darkest hours. I witness a lot of grief and pain and suffering. And it has become a refuge from the world for me to just sit and to feel close to my heavenly parents and my Savior, Jesus Christ. And I'm just so grateful to have the convenience of a temple so close. I grew up where the temple wasn't as close as it is. And that's one of my very favorite things about living here in Utah, is to drive at night and see in the valley these beautiful anchors, just pillars of light that represent our Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm so excited about the Lindon Temple. My kids have gone to Oak Canyon, and so the year that we moved here from Delaware, our oldest, who was the one who got sealed to us, she was going into 7th grade. And so we have lots of memories just being at Oak Canyon, being out on that ground, just the track, that's just right there too. My kids ran track, and just watching that ground shift and change from grass, to this beautiful, beautiful place has been incredible. And watching it right outside of our back window. We can see as we do dishes, as we're eating family dinner, just out of our windows, right out of our back, the temple. And so it's been an incredible experience. In his house, I feel connected to heaven. I feel so grateful for eternal families and the connection that we have here, and that will continue on forever.